Are you feeling worried? Well, you're in the right place. Come join me for this talk today. I'm Michele Thill with Newland Wellness, and this is for women who are over 50 and in a major life transition. I have a thought for you today. I want to share a quote from Corrie ten Boom, who once said, "Worrying does not empty tomorrow of its troubles. It empties today of its strength." What a powerful reminder that worry does not protect us. It actually stops us and it holds us back. And you're now in a point in your life where you're looking to step forward. You've already been through the heartbreak and the feelings of the loss of the relationship at this point, be it divorce, like myself, or a loss in a relationship as an empty nester, that family dynamic that no longer is. Or it's a long-held job or role you had that you no longer do. Or it could be the actual loss of a spouse. And you now are in the phase of, who am I? What's next? And facing that uncertainty in your life, along with the uncertainty that's going on in the world right now. And we can't control anything, unfortunately, except ourselves and how we handle things. So I'm here as a guide to help you see past what is right now into what could be, to open you up to the possibilities of something more. And you know, when I think of worry, my gosh, worry could have been my middle name, Michele Worry Thill. I had a black belt in worry. What I've learned about worry is that it's a skill that you can work yourself out of. If I'm making sense, I trained my brain to not focus just on the negatives and to be worried and anxious. You know, there was a time where I thought worry equaled I cared. And I worried about everyone and everything. So much so that there were times where I would go days hyperventilating over something because I was so wound up. And over time, I discovered I wasn't helping anything and I was hurting myself, my body. My body couldn't handle what was going on in my mind. Can you relate? Does that resonate with you? We are at a time in our lives, in this midlife, where we can rewrite now or write our next or new chapter, where even though you don't know the words yet, you don't know the steps yet, it's taking it one day, one step at a time, and figuring out from what now to now what. And last time we were together, I talked about reverse worrying. I heard that phrase from Mike Dooley, who talked about we put such an emphasis on what could or might go wrong. and we worry about it. And it may never happen. What if instead we put the attention on what could go right? Instead of focusing on the struggle, focus on the success. And, you know, even though he might have coined that phrase, I realize that's the path that I've been walking on now for quite a while. As my divorce really allowed me to grow and evolve and to see a bigger picture of a life that I desire, because the life that I had wasn't all that ideal. It just was familiar. And we don't like to leave that familiar. Even if there is discomfort, we're in the familiar zone. And we feel we have control over it. Instead of stepping out and stepping up and figuring out what more could be out there for you. You know, Gabby Bernstein, I was listening to her one day, and she talked about how as a society, we're in a fault-finding mindset. We are uncomfortable with happy. We're instead more comfortable looking for what's wrong. Can you relate? Do you see that in the world that we're living right now? And I'm not here to be political. I'm here to be metaphysical and share that we need to look beyond our life circumstances into that bigger picture. So even though I didn't want my divorce, which is almost now 10 years, I see the gifts that it has brought me. And that's why I look to share with you too. Being in a major life transition, like me, divorce, empty nester, a career pivot, a widow, this is an opportunity for you now to step into who you are meant to be, even though it doesn't feel that way on the outside, in the world as it is, how you may be viewed. But if you look at it from a bigger picture sense, it's you now having the opportunity to take care of you and to now discover, rediscover, reinvent who you are now meant to be at this stage in your life. And worrying isn't going to help you at all on the journey. It's going to be that roadblock, because with worry is the fear. And with fear, we don't take action. We don't try things. We don't even think of the things to try because we're so consumed with what could go wrong. I don't want to fail. I don't know how to do this. All the thoughts that go through our head that are not helpful whatsoever. And so what if you started rewriting your story? Or maybe it's more like writing now this new chapter. Maybe that's really a better way to phrase it. Write this new chapter of what life would look like now on your terms, the way you desire to see it. When you find yourself worrying, why not, instead of getting caught in that worry, stop, catch yourself, notice what you're noticing, as Mary Morrissey would say, and say, what would peace feel like now? And put a focus on that, so that instead of the constant worry that ruminates your mind of this and that and whatever it might be, Instead, how would I feel if I brought peace into this situation? What would that look like? And either write it out. Writing is a very powerful way because a lot of times when we write things out, they call it automatic writing. You just let that pen flow. Things start to come to you that you'd never think of. What if you just started putting that pen to paper? What would this situation look like if I felt peaceful? Because when you feel peaceful instead of fearful, worried, anxious, you're more able to see a solution instead of being caught in the problem. That problem keeps you right there, unable to move forward. When you bring in that peace, you can then start allowing your mind to guide you in a good way. I take that back. This is where your mind's at. You're allowing your heart to then guide you to what next steps you can take. And you just take them, baby step at a time, learning along the way. There's no failures. You just learn along the way. So spend some time reverse worrying instead of just being caught in the worry. I invite you to do that, to see what you can discover. Because as I've shared, I have lived in worry for so many years of my life, and it never got me anywhere. And when I learned to relax more into the situation, things changed. It's not a perfect, I'm not special. All of us can do it. And that's what I'm here to let you know. You have that power within you to override that worry in your life and in the world by just looking for the peace in things and then following that path. I want to give you a powerful tool that will help you on this journey. It's simple and it's something you can do at any time. I have talked a lot about the power of deep breathing because it relaxes the vagus nerve, which is the nerve that runs throughout the body. It's the fight or flight nerve. And when you can start relaxing it, you bring in more peace. And one of the best ways to relax that nerve is through deep belly breathing. And I found a great visual that I learned from Jennifer McLean recently. And what she shared is it's called ribbon breathing. What you do is you take a breath in through like your bottom, your what she calls the root chakra. You start breathing. So say like from the belly, you start breathing up. And I realize the belly isn't the root chakra, but as that visual, in case you don't know the root chakra, start bringing up that breathing. Bring it all the way up and then release it as if it's a ribbon coming out and then circling back down and going around, coming out and back down. And it's amazing. So it would look like, and you can try it with me. Take that deep breath in, pretend it's a ribbon now. It's coming up your body and then you're releasing the ribbon out. And if you that way, that's also very powerful to release your breath in that sense. And then let it go back down, back in. Round up again, release it, and then you can just keep doing the ribbon through. It's a great visual that I've adopted in my deep breathing practice, and that helps relax and center and ground you more. It relaxes that vagus nerve so that you're not feeling as anxious. You can do that for 2 minutes. You could do it longer if you need to. Maybe you only need a minute. And then you have that ability to then start coming from a place of the reverse worry and start picturing how things are going to fall into place, how things are going to work out instead of what's going to go wrong and what's going to happen next. I invite you to try this, and I'd love for you to share what you've noticed on this journey, because you have control over your worrying. It's all in your mindset. And I believe that when you change your mind, you change your life. And if no one tells you this, I want to say, I'm proud of you. I'd love to hear in comments what you've noticed on this journey. And until next time, be well.